Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to another edition of the Wealth Guardians radio show. Here is where we tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And the chair next to me that Doug Ray normally occupies is again empty until next week. In the meantime, I'm your host, Bryce Payne, and I appreciate you spending some of your weekend with us today. JB is here in the studio with me. How's it going, JB? How you doing?
Well. How about you?
Doing all right. Doing
Good.
all right. Thanks. It feels like I was only here just a little bit ago, but boy, how the weeks fly by.
They sure do.
Before we get started, as always, JB and I want to salute the men and women of our armed forces and first responders, along with their families, for the sacrifices and services to this community and our country. Thank you for protecting the freedoms of our great country and our Constitution. And JB, I want to take a second here. You remember a couple of weeks ago, before 4th of July, I made a point to mention all the people in Doug's family and my family who had served, just to give a little extra
Right.
credit to our kin.
Sure.
And somehow my uncle Scott, who I referred to in my family, he lives out in Sacramento. Well, he got hold of the radio, and I had said mistakenly that Uncle Scott had served in the Air Force. I got a nice little email from him notifying me that he is a Marine.
Oh, okay.
He is not in the Air Force. Now, I don't know about you, but I am well aware that you can call somebody who is in the Air Force, a Marine, in the Army, in the Coast Guard, the Navy, whatever, no big deal.
Right.
But you refer to a Marine as anything other than a Marine, you're going to hear about it. So, Uncle Scott, I apologize, no offense, and Semper Fi, and I have the feeling the next time that I run into you that I will have to do some push-ups. So
no Christmas present for you this year,
no,
right?
not this year.
Okay, so-
Anyway, for those of you who don't know, my name is Bryce Payne, and I'm an investment advisor representative for AlphaStar and a financial advisor for Doug Ray and the Wealth Guardians. The Wealth Guardians is a professional independent firm working with pre-retirees and retirees in all areas of retirement and estate planning, including the areas of wealth management and preservation, asset protection, tax reduction, wealth transfer and distribution, as well as income planning. We are fiduciaries with a fiduciary duty, and we have always run our practice that way. We have offices in both Clemmons and Charlotte, North Carolina, and we can be reached at 336-391-3409 or via our website, www.thewealthguardians.com. And as always, the objective of this show is to educate and inform the listeners of up-to-date, relevant, and important information in the pre-retirement, retirement, and estate planning arena. JB and I look forward to spending the next 30 minutes with you, giving you some solid financial information that hopefully will help you and make a difference in your retirement and estate planning. Good morning, JB.
Good morning. Thanks a lot, Bryce. And we do have a great show for you. And as you look at the calendar, you know that it's back to school time. But,
my favorite.
yeah, it is. It is an exciting time, especially I've got two going back, so I'm excited about that. But back to school time is not just for kids anymore.
That's not.
Nope. With so many changes each year and, everybody's changing their financial and in the economic arena, you simply have to make sure that you go back to school to stay educated and informed and to keep your retirement plan updated and accurate at all times. So today, we're going to be discussing many of the important and vital topics for 2018, as well as some fast-approaching deadlines that must be met by the end of the year.
All right, well, whenever I think of back to school, I do think of Rodney Dangerfield and his classic movie, but probably not what we're talking about right here, right now.
That's right.
All right, JB. Well, when we do hear the words back to school, it means summer vacation is almost over, and it's time to start rushing around and getting things ready for the kids and the new school year. And why do we as parents go through the same stressful routine each year of buying new books and supplies at back to school time? In my mind, it boils down to wanting the kids to be able to focus on what is really important, and that's their education.
Right.
If they have everything they need and there are fewer loose ends, details, and distractions, they'll have a better chance of learning in the classroom. I know it worked in my daughter's case. So how does this apply to retirement? Well, it's pretty simple. Kids have been on summer break for the last couple of months, and of course, this is the time of the year that many parents take time off from work, from their normal routines to do activities with their kids, take family vacations, etc. We were just in Wilmington at Carolina Beach State Park.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my daughter did one of her first camping trips there. But during this time, it's very easy to get behind and forget about your retirement plan for a while. However, as you know, time does not stop.
Nope.
And changes in the financial and economic arena happen all the time. And every year there are new tax laws, there's interest rate changes, changes in the economy, financial markets, and most importantly, changes in your specific goals and objectives as you get older. With all that being said, retirement planning never ends, folks. It's not a one and done thing. In fact, there have been many changes this year in rules, laws, taxes, and regulations, so you need to keep up your knowledge of all these changes so you can make proper and strategic adjustments to your retirement plan every year to keep your planning up to date, accurate, and in line with your specific goals, objectives, and desires. So back to school is not just for the kids, and today is back to school time for your retirement plan on this radio show, as we're going to discuss several areas that you need to be reminded of for making sure your retirement plan is up to date and accurate, and to inform you of some deadlines for 2018 that are quickly approaching. So grab your pencil, get your notebook, get behind your desk, and prepare for class. JB?
Are you saying this is a pop quiz already?
Already, yep.
Okay. All right, Bryce. Well, I'm ready for that. And I hope everybody else is too. Let's get started today by addressing one vital and very important planning item that has to be done by the end of the year for many people, and I'm talking about the required minimum distributions.
That's right, JB. We have less than 5 months left in the year, and that is how much time you have to make sure you meet your RMD for 2018. And like JB said, RMD stands for Required Minimum Distribution. And these are distributions that you must take out of your retirement savings plan. I'm talking about your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, etc., after a certain age. And this is the age when the government forces you to start taking money out of your tax-deferred retirement plan and start paying Uncle Sam the tax you owe him on those dollars. Remember, the majority of people contributed to their retirement saving plans on a pre-tax basis. This means the money that you contributed was taken off your income for that year before you paid the taxes on it, which lowered your taxable income, and you received the benefit of tax-deferred growth on that money ever since. Now, please understand, the tax break you received back when you made those contributions was not a free gift. Uncle Sam's not big on those. He wants to be paid back. He gets paid back when you take the money out of your retirement plans. Because when you take money out of your retirement plan accounts, that money is added to your income, and you pay ordinary income tax on that money at whatever income tax bracket you are in for that year. Now, some people think that if they just don't take distributions from their retirement plans, they won't have to pay the tax. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way, as the IRS forces you to start taking money out of those retirement plan accounts at a certain age, which are called RMDs. The government might not know a lot of things, but I promise you they know when you turn 70 and a half and it's time to be taking that money out. That's one thing that they keep tabs on.
Right.
So the rule states that you must start taking RMDs in the year you turn age 70 and a half, as I said. Specifically, the rule states that you must take your first required minimum distribution by April 1st of the year following the year you turn age 70 and a half. Then you must take your RMD by December 31st every year after. That's a lot of dates in there, and I know it gets complicated, JB.
Well, that's okay, Bryce. So help me up, and let's maybe run through a scenario here.
Yeah,
so to help people understand, let's look at this example. Let's say that you've turned 70 on May 1st of this year.
May 1st. Okay, so if you turn 70 on May 1st of this year, then you'll have an RMD to meet for the year 2018 because you'll turn 70 and a half November 1st, if my math is right. But since this is your very first RMD, you technically have until April 1st of 2019 to take it. Not recommending that, just saying that they give you a little bit of leniency the first round.
Right.
But if you wait until next year, it is still your 2018 RMD. You will also have a 2019 RMD to take out, and that one will have to be met by December 31st of the same year, 2019. So if you decide to do it this way, you'll have two RMDs on your 2019 tax return and none on your 2018. Yeah, many people do not want two RMDs on the same tax return, so most people just go ahead and take their first RMD in the year that they turn 70 and a half.
All right, well, let's look at another example. Okay, let's say you turn 70 on September 15th of this year.
Okay, September, a little bit later in the year.
Right.
Well, in this case, you won't turn age 70 and a half until March 15th of next year.
That's right.
So you do have an RMD to meet for 2018. I'm sorry, you do not have an RMD to meet for 2018.
Okay.
Now, required minimum distributions are serious business because if you fail to take them by the deadline or you do not take enough, you're hit with serious penalties. And I emphasize that word serious, and I'll tell you why. That penalty is 50% of the amount you should have taken. For example, let's say your RMD for the year is, I don't know, $10,000.
Okay.
If you fail to take this out of your retirement plan accounts by that deadline, then you will have an IRS penalty of $5,000. And this penalty is on top of the $10,000 RMD that you still will have to take.
Wow.
So you can see this is a very, very steep penalty. And this is why it's very important to get the proper help from a professional advisor who will help you manage your required minimum distributions properly. So if you are required to take an RMD this year and have not done so already, you have less than 5 months to meet this deadline. Obviously, we'll be talking a lot more about RMDs as we get closer to the end of the year. So if you tune into the show every week, you will get several more reminders and have the opportunity to get some help with all of that if you need it. Now, again, RMDs are a part of the law and you must take them. But hear this. There are a couple of ways around having to pay tax on your RMDs. If you would like information on these ways, please feel free to reach out to us, as we've helped many clients with these options that can be a great tax savings benefit for them.
That's good information, Bryce. Well, let's turn our attention to a topic that's gotten a lot of attention and press this year and probably a vital part of everybody's planning, Bryce, and that's interest rates. What's going on here?
Okay. Yeah, sure, JB. That has been a big factor in 2018 because the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates the last couple of years, including some raises this year and plans to continue to inch up interest rates. However, with interest rates being so low for so long a time and the Federal Reserve trying to control these increases, the effects have not been felt too much yet so far. But the current plan is to continue with rate hikes for the near future. So how do you handle this information and what are you going to do about it? Obviously, this is not good news. If you need to borrow money because interest rates on home loans, vehicle loans, personal loans, and of course some credit cards are going to be going up. But it is good news for those looking for higher interest rates on safe money options like CDs, fixed annuities, etc. A lot of people rely on interest income from CDs, bank accounts, and other types of vehicles to help them get through their monthly bills. And with interest rates being so low during the past few years, it has been difficult on those people. This is a major problem for many, and they have to find a solution. Well, there is a good news out there, and fortunately, we can talk to you about all of that if you want to meet us in person and figure out how interest rates will affect your portfolio.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Bryce, we're up against a break. But we want to remind you, you are listening to the Wealth Guardians radio show on 94.5 WPTI. We appreciate you being with us. Remember, you can give us a call at 336-391-3409 or check us out online at thewealthguardians.com. Up against a quick break, but stay with us. We're going to continue with our back-to-school time for your retirement show. And another major deadline is coming up. We'll tell you what it is when we get back. Stay with us.
Hang in there, folks.
Welcome back to the Wealth Guardians radio show, right in the middle of our show entitled It's Back to School for Your Retirement. Now, again, back to school is not just for the kids anymore. Every year, there are so many changes and important deadlines to meet. So in order to keep your retirement plan up to date and accurate, you simply have to keep educated and informed of all the changes and the deadlines. So we're helping you with this today by addressing some of the important and vital items. And the next major topic of 2018 has, of course, been volatility and the markets. Bryce, what's going on here?
Okay, class, take your seats, put your phones away.
Oh,
JB,
no.
you're absolutely right. Markets have been all over the place this year, following a great low-risk year for 2017, and there was a great return in January as well. But from February through June, volatility picked up, and markets have been off a little bit here and there. Now, volatility has recently come back down again, good, and markets are back to near all-time highs. So do you have the proper risk management system in place going forward to take advantage of the markets while they are doing well, but also to adjust your holdings to help protect your accounts when that next major market fall occurs and volatility picks up? Many people do not, and we find that many people use the typical buy and hold traditional asset allocation approach that basically just follows the market. Obviously, that could be a dangerous way to play because we all know with markets at all-time highs, there is going to be another major correction at some point. But again, you also want to take advantage of the good times while they're here. And as we have said many times on the show before, you should have the right risk management system in place that will make adjustments on a regular basis to your holdings based on different market conditions. And if you're using the buy and hold strategy or a traditional asset allocation strategy where you own a set of percentage of stocks, bonds and mutual funds, then when markets start to fall, those allocations are not going to change and you will still own the same percentage. You won't have any protection from the market environment, and you should have a way to make proper changes to your holdings in order to adapt to the changing market environment. And the main thing to take away from what I'm telling you here is making sure you are comfortable with the risk strategy you have in place. And if markets start getting really volatile this fall for the beginning of next year, then you want to make sure your portfolio has the proper risk management system in place to adjust so you can limit or eliminate those large losses. So feel free to reach out to us for more information about these strategies that are available that will do this for you.
All right, Bryce, let's address a couple more key deadlines that are fast approaching for 2018.
It's that time of year.
It is. The first one is company-sponsored retirement plan contributions.
All right. Yep. This is a very important one to know. There are less than, 5 months left in the year.
Yeah, wow.
So there are deadlines for making contributions to some types of retirement savings plan. Now, for your typical traditional individual IRA or Roth IRA, the deadline is not until April 15th of next year. So you have a lot more time available to those. But to contribute to your 2018 plans for others, got to do that before then. Other plans, the deadline is not next year, it's the end of this year. So for plans like, say, your 401k or your 403b plan at work and other company-sponsored retirement plans, the contribution deadline is the end of the year. You can't go back. You don't have a do-over in January, February, and March. So if your goal is to max out your contributions for 2018 in those plans, you have to make sure you're on track to do that or step up your contributions in order to have time to maximize those out now. So you must be aware of the end of the year deadline for company-sponsored retirement plans. So here's an example. Let's say you're 55 years old and you want to contribute as much as you can. The contribution limit is $24,500 this year. And let's say you've only put in $10,000 so far. Well, shame on you, but okay. That means you have less than 5 months to get the rest of the money in the account. So you'll have to make some changes to the withholdings from your check in order to maximize out that contribution. You don't want to do it all just in November and December. That's going to be hard on you.
Right.
This is just a friendly reminder that the deadline is coming up shortly to maximize out your contribution to your company-sponsored retirement plans.
Okay, we've got another key deadline that is fast approaching for 2018.
They're never ending, are they?
They never end. And it will affect many people, and that's the Roth conversion.
Oh, right. Another big deadline. The Roth conversion has a deadline at the end of the year. Now, real quick, the differences between Roth conversions and Roth contributions are as follows. Roth contributions can be made up until April 15th of the following year for individual Roth contributions. But Roth contributions to company-sponsored retirement plans, and for those companies that allow the Roth option, more and more of them are having that option, they have a deadline of the end of the year, as we said earlier. So any Roth conversion also has to be done by the end of the calendar year, which is December 31st. I know it's a lot of dates and whatnot. It gets confusing. But another big thing here is preparing your taxes. You can work on preparing your tax return all the way up until April 15th of next year. And many people start working on their taxes, like me, in January or February in order to get them filed by the deadline, which again is that April 15th. However, any tax planning that you may want to do in order to save tax dollars needs to be done by the end of the year in order to take advantage of that.
Right.
So a lot of people get confused thinking they have until April to get their planning done. But you don't, because of all the strategic moves that may be needed, such as a Roth conversions. They have deadlines at the end of the year. So having said all that, many people are going to do Roth conversions this year because our tax rates are at all-time lows with the new tax rates in effect. A lot of people are going to take advantage of that and do Roth conversions. And if you want to do that, you must do the conversion by the end of the year. So time's quickly running out. It's less than about 4 months away. And it takes time to be able to meet with your advisor and to determine how much of a Roth conversion you want to do. If you come in and meet with us right now, we're not going to be able to tell you the answer right there on the spot, folks. It takes planning. And a lot of people are going to be knocking on our door soon. We will spend a lot of time with our clients in the fall doing preliminary tax returns to help them figure out where they are going to be for 2018. And with this being a new tax year with new tax laws, that will be very important for us to do and do correctly so people can see where they're going to be and how the new laws are going to affect them. Hopefully, it will save them money, but also more importantly, this will help us take advantage of some key strategic options that are still available to help them become more tax efficient. And realistically, there are, as I said, 4 months left in the year to be able to do that. So keep that in mind, please. And remember, Roth conversions are one very popular way of becoming more tax efficient, because a Roth conversion allows you to pay taxes now on taxable retirement account money and get that into a tax-free account where it will go from here on out tax-free for the rest of your life. It will also allow you to withdraw money from the account tax-free, including the interest that it makes. Also, a lot to say here, Roth IRAs do not have a required minimum distribution rules. So you're not required to take any money out of a Roth IRA, which is a big benefit as well. In addition, it keeps going. In addition, with a Roth IRA, you will be able to pass money on to your heirs tax-free.
Great.
So there's some, great. Indeed, there are some huge big benefits to Roth IRAs funded by conversions. Now, obviously, tax-free is very good, especially if you believe that tax rates will be increasing in the future. Everyone raise their hand if you think tax rates are going to go up. My hand's up. JB's is up. With the national debt continuing to rise, the current world situation, and all those entitlement programs that are under fire and underfunded, at some point, the government will need to find additional revenue from someplace. And it's going to be our pockets, folks.
That's right.
They can't just keep kicking the can down the road. Obviously, the economy is doing well right now. Great. Happy to hear that. But again, debt is still piling on rapidly. And if interest rates continue to rise, the interest on that national debt alone is going to skyrocket. And that's going to become a real major problem for us. As much as we want to put our heads in the sand, we can't keep doing it. So all these things lead me to believe that when this new temporary tax code, which expires in 2025, there could be massive tax law changes. And at that point, and tax rates go up drastically, that may not be an ideal time to convert then.
Right.
So again, this could be a golden opportunity to become more tax efficient, because as we said earlier in the show, you owe Uncle Sam money on your pre-tax retirement accounts, and money people will be in the lowest tax bracket they will ever see for the next few years. If that is your situation, you may want to take advantage of it via Roth conversions now. And you might want to take the bull by the horns approach and pay taxes on some of that money now. Sorry, folks, but it's going to help you in the long run, believe me. But again, the deadline for doing a Roth conversion is the end of the calendar year. So you cannot wait until you're doing your taxes next year to make that move. You have to make this move by the end of the calendar year. When do you have to make it by, JB?
End of the year, the calendar year.
You've been listening.
That's
Good.
right.
You passed your first test.
Thank you.
Don't miss out on this opportunity, because once it's gone, and you won't be able to take advantage of it. For instance, if you're going to be in the 12% bracket this year, we'll do a for instance here. With the new tax laws, you don't want to let any room in that bracket go. You want to take advantage of it because you are probably never going to see a tax bracket as low as 12% again. So if you have additional room left in that bracket, this is where you can come and do a partial Roth conversion and go ahead and pay taxes at that low 12% tax rate on money that will have you to pay taxes on it anyway. So hopefully that is good information for you. But remember, this is also another deadline that is fast approaching. Now, again, is the time for the people to start looking at the options and strategies they can use to improve their retirement plans? That's now, folks. There are a lot of good, effective, strategic moves available in the tax code laws they could use to possibly put themselves in a better financial position and to have their retirement account be much more secure and maximized out. Again, the theme today was it's back to school for your retirement plan. And the reason we chose to do this show at this time of year is because it is back to school time. And if you turn on the radio or go to the store, you'll see signs everywhere. And everyone is getting ready to send the kids back to grade school, high school, college as well. So it is a big time for getting back into the action of education. And the same thing needs to be done with your retirement plan. Your retirement plan, it doesn't get a summer break all year long. Sorry, it just doesn't happen that way.
Right.
It has to be updated each and every year to keep it accurate and in line and maximized to the fullest. Part of this is keeping up on the rules and law changes, making adjustments to your plan accordingly to keep your own plan up to date and accurate at all times. So fall is a very busy time for us as we're meeting with our clients and helping them do all the things that they need to keep their retirement plans up to date. And if you need help, I highly encourage you to reach out to a retirement professional to receive that assistance with your own retirement. If you'd like to talk to us about it, then please feel free to reach out to us, 336-391-3409, or visit our website, www.thewealthguardians.com. We really appreciate you being with us today. You can also email me specifically if you want. Bryce, that's B-R-I-C-E, I spell it the wrong way, at thewealthguardians.com. And remember, the key to proper retirement and estate planning today is education and understanding all your options. Make sure you obtain the proper help and work with a qualified, competent, educated, and experienced retirement advisor to make sure you are aware of and understand all of your options, to make sure your planning is set up the absolute best way for your own unique and specific situation, and to help keep your retirement nest egg safe and sound. Folks, we appreciate you being with us today, and we look forward to coming back next weekend with another very valuable and informative show. Until then, JB, hope you have a good weekend.
You too, Bryce.
And folks, we'll see you later.